Okay, I'm back. We're having some tech issues today, as you can see. I got kicked off again. But we just cut up our awesome watermelon, see? Ooh, there it is. And I was just explaining a little bit more about how awesome it is, about why it's so thirst quenching, right? So, because one of the reasons that we get thirsty is because, hey, you're back. Me too. One of the reasons that we get thirsty, like I said, is that we're also craving the vitamins, I'm dropping things, and minerals. And that's what enables our body to absorb the hydration into our bloodstream. And so watermelon has a bunch of like vitamin C and potassium and a lot of other, and electrolytes, and it's really awesome. So I would definitely recommend it, and having it, especially when you're hot and when you're craving it. Like, I would really honor that craving and trust that your body knows what it's doing. Especially when it's craving something like watermelon. Like if you're craving like sour sticks, then I would be like, maybe we should analyze that craving and see what you really want, because definitely whatever sour sticks is not something that your body actually needs. But it does indicate something that your body's needing. And so you could ask me about that. We could talk more about that. But with watermelon, I would totally encourage you to like honor that. And the only thing that I'd say to watch out for, because sometimes people say like, oh, fruit has so much sugar and watermelon has so much sugar. Can I really have that? Can I have as much as I want? Is it gonna like, is it too carbohydrate filled? Blah, blah, blah. So number one, carbohydrates are not evil, for sure not. Some people do better with less. But that being said, like fruit has way less than like a bagel. And number two, that fruit and watermelon, right, like has a lot of vitamins and minerals in it. And so you just want to make sure that you're not eating it instead of something else. This is something that I talk to my clients a lot about, because they'll ask like, oh, what about this? What about that? So if it's like a real food, a real whole food, something that like grows, that your great grandmother would recognize and have fed you, then you can trust that craving, generally speaking. Obviously, I don't know your situation privately unless you ask me. But across the board, generally, if it's a real thing, you can trust your craving on it and trust that your body knows what it's doing, because your body is really, really smart. The only caveat to that is to really ask yourself, am I actually craving this? Because sometimes people are like, oh, I ate like 7 bananas. I guess I really needed it. And I'll be like, I don't think anyone really needs 7 bananas. My guess is that you needed lunch and that you were feeling too lazy to make yourself lunch. And so you just like kept eating bananas, right? So like, I would totally encourage you to have the watermelon, have as much as you actually want, which is not me encouraging you to be gluttonous or whatever, even with watermelon, but it's encouraging you to like try to like build that relationship, right? A big part of what I do with my clients, privately, is we talk about rebuilding the relationship that you have with your body, that most of us are so used to just being out of touch. Like, a lot of times people will say, oh, I have no willpower and I'm hungry or I want something, I can't stop myself from eating it. But I really don't think that's true. I think that we actually have a tremendous amount of willpower. And I think that the real issue is that we're just used to ignoring our bodies. Like most of my clients, and if I ask them like, oh, when you go pee, do you go pee right away? Usually only the men say yes. Most of the women are like, oh, no, I don't. I like hold it in for like a ridiculous amount of time. I'm just like, oh, I'm going to finish this email. I'm going to send this text. I'm going to finish this like write up. I'm going to finish this draft. I'm going to finish giving my kids a bath. Whatever it is that you're doing, we're constantly suppressing the messages that our body's giving to us. You guys see my nails? Can you tell? They're still done from the wedding. They're falling off a little bit, but they look good still. As does my wig. As you know, I don't really wear it curly normally. But anyways, so that's the part I would say. So just be mindful of paying attention and try to rebuild that relationship with your body. And you can start with, when you have to go pee, actually go. Hey, Abigail, actually go, honor what your body is sharing with you, the information that your body is sharing with you. You want to, the more that you listen, the more that your body will talk, right? Just like a friend or anything else that you're building a relationship with, the more that you respect and honor what your body is sharing with you, the more that your body will share, right? So people say like, oh, I'm so out of touch. I don't know what I want. I can't tell when I'm hungry, or my stomach gets upset all the time and I don't know why. the more that you honor that relationship and the more that you listen, right, starting with simple things, which I do not be underwhelmed of how empowering and healing it is to actually just go pee when you have to pee and drink water when you're thirsty, as opposed to like, oh, in a second, which really doesn't mean in a second. It usually just means like, I'm not going to take care of my body. So how does it relate to watermelon, if you're wondering? Is because, right, some people ask like, oh, I love it, but it's so sugary, can I really have it? And so my answer is yes, you can really have it, but don't have a ton of it instead of having what you really want. So if you didn't have lunch or you didn't have dinner and now you're eating an entire watermelon, I wouldn't encourage that, because it's not really what you want. You really want dinner, you really want lunch, you really want something more substantial than just like a whole watermelon, right? One more little hack, other than, of course, like how awesomely we cut it up, which you can see in the other video, is that if you really want to be lazy, you can also just like cut it in half and then just like go at it with a spoon. I didn't think of saying that at first until one of my clients saw that I let my kids do that, and they're like, oh my god, that's brilliant. And I was like, oh, thanks. It was another just like a lazy thing that I did. But you could also just do that, but it doesn't really work to serve that way, but just more of like if you want it or your kids want it or whatever. So there you go. So if you guys have any more questions, you can write them there. If you have anything that's like private that you don't really want to share with the entire Facebook world or our Facebook world, our little group, you can feel free to reach out to me privately. I'm happy to help you in any way that I can. So I love you all. I'm so happy you're here, and I'll talk to you soon.